We are live. I got my guy Mikey here. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
Hey, thanks for asking me to come on, dude. I like going on other people's podcasts. It's always fun.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Rome Show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So how you doing today so far?
Today's been a pretty good day. Just it's only 12 o'clock here on my side of the country. So, I've done a little bit of work, posted a little bit of stuff on social media, and now I'm hanging out with you.
Right. Sounds like a fire morning so far. So you
Yeah.
said country. Where are you exactly?
I'm in Sacramento, California.
Okay. Fire.
Yeah, yeah. Where you said you're on the East Coast, so where you at?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay, Connecticut. I got a client out in Connecticut that I do production for, Star 99.9. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just interviewed. Go ahead.
they're in Bridgeport, maybe. I don't remember exactly where they're at.
Yeah, I think I just interviewed. Are you familiar with the Anna and Raven morning show?
Oh yeah, yeah. And then Raven, who I produce for them too. They're great. They're great, man. I love them.
Oh, that's crazy because I just interviewed them a little while back.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
very good people. I went
Yeah.
to the station. Did at the station.
That's that, dude. I have been producing for that radio station and Anna before it was Anna and Raven, um, for like almost 10 years probably, and I've
Wow.
never met any of them.
Never.
Never, not once.
Yeah, they're cool people. I met the producer Sean.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
met Anna, met Raven.
Nice. That's great.
Small world. That's fire, bro.
It's a small industry is what it is, like we that's what they say, don't burn bridges, which I've burned most of mine, but you never know who you're going to work with or work for, or end up on a podcast with somebody.
Right. So for the people on my platform that don't know, tell them a little bit about your podcast and how it's been going a little bit.
So I'm the host of the Mikey podcast. I've been in radio like my entire life, but now I'm just doing this podcast. It's mostly just kind of a news based podcast, and I do some interviews and stuff here and there. I do 3 shows a week. I do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Fridays I do a live stream, and I stream it on YouTube, Facebook, and on MikeyPodcast.com. But it's like a comedic take on the news, kind of, with politics and conspiracies mixed in, and just kind of real life stuff. So think of radio. Think of how radio was with just a little bit more pushing the envelope, because you can't get away with some of the stuff that I say and do on corporate radio as you can on a podcast. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, and it's people will say that I tend to lean Republican, but I'm neither Republican or Democrat, because there's a lot of politics that are involved in it. But I tend to just kind of have more of a common sense side of things, and I try to make it as funny as possible. But I'm not that funny, so who knows? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But it's working out for me. I get a pretty decent listenership. I've got some paying subscribers and stuff, and it's a lot of fun, man. I really like doing it. I can't wait until the day comes where I can do it, where I'm able to do it every single day. Maybe, do like a morning show, sort of an afternoon show with some updates throughout the day and stuff, like quick little online clips. Because that's, I think, where I want to take it. If hopefully I can get there.
Right. Sounds good, bro. I
Yeah.
love what you've been doing. What
Thank you.
caught me about you is your consistency and your promoting and your marketing.
Yeah. I think that's important, like I think posting video clips and audio clips and staying on top of it and making sure you're in the now. I think that stuff is really, really important. And having such a huge radio background, and what I've done my whole life is, as an imaging guy, as a voiceover actor, as a radio dude, it's all been about marketing and marketing your brand. So I think that if you want to be successful, you got to try to be the best you can be at the marketing side of things.
Right. And that's like one of the most important things. And you don't stop. You're
I
like
don't.
you're go, go, go.
I don't stop. You can't get online if without seeing me. Even if you don't follow me, you're going to see a meme that I made. You're going to see my stupid face. You're going to hear my voice. You're going to see something, because it's funny, because when I lost my job last November, my radio job, I was like, this isn't going to stop me from being in front of people. There's just no way. This is what I do for a living. This is what I've always done. And being fired from corporate radio isn't going to change anything. It's just going to be just a little bit harder because I don't have that huge megaphone, that huge microphone behind me. Now it's just a little bit smaller. But to be honest with you, the my marketing has probably stepped up more than it ever was when I was in radio. People see me more now than anything else. And I'm starting to try to do events and things like that. So I'm just really hitting the ground as hard as I can because I believe in what the future of this platform is. You have your podcast. It's the future of this type of audio consumption. Even though it's video, like we're doing video, we're doing audio, we're doing it all, you know what I'm saying? But this is the future
Yeah.
of I think consumption, because people are going to go and get what they want and look for exactly what they want instead of being spoon-fed what radio or television is giving them.
Right, and that's such a good topic since you got on that. So I was gonna ask you how you got into podcasting. So you got laid off from your radio job, corporate.
Well, actually, it started before then, but yes, I did. I can tell you, it's actually I started the Mikey podcast as soon as when the pandemic hit, and I think that a lot of people started doing it around then. It almost sounds cliche, but I started it, and I was just doing one a week, and for me, it was like just a way for me to kind of get another different side of what I was doing. Because on the radio, we had that damn show, which was hugely fucking successful. Excuse my language, sorry. Hugely successful, great show, number one show in Sacramento. We were winning awards and stuff. It was a lot of fun. But that was rock radio and it was corporate, and I couldn't be as edgy as I wanted to. Our general manager was like best friends with the governor's wife, so I couldn't talk crap about the governor. It was like, it's just, I just had these things, so I wanted to get another side of me out there. So I did the podcast, and the pandemic was the perfect time because we had all built these home studios so that we could broadcast from home. And I bought all this equipment. I'm like, well, I'm going to put it to work in one way or the other. So I started doing the podcast. That is that then basically. And then it built up, and I stopped doing it as most people do when they start a podcast. And I gave up. And then my wife, or she was my girlfriend at the time, she's like, you got to start doing your podcast again. And I felt it. And so I did. And I just like, I was doing it, and I was like, I'm going to keep doing this. And it was still only one day a week at the time. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep promoting it on the air as well, so I can grow it as much as I can, because the radio station liked us doing podcasts too. They wanted us to have another side of things. Radio will push that on all their DJs, work, do more content. So it was nice to do that. And even though my GM and probably my bosses didn't necessarily like my content, they liked that I was putting out content at least. And so it grew from there, and promoting it and knowing that at some point radio was going to, at some point I'm not going to have a job. We all get let go. We all have to move. We all have things that happen to us in this industry. So, but I wanted to be prepared for that. And it led to that, and then that point happened November of 2022. Last November is when the show was canceled. And so I was really glad that I built up the podcast for that while, because then I have an audience.
Right. And that's kind of similar to me. Because like my main thing was like, I got to get this radio job because I went to school for broadcasting and TV and radio.
Yeah.
Then I had got into a car accident. So, things had happened, and didn't get the radio job, but I landed some internships. So I learned a little bit. And I was like, I got to stay busy. I got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the podcast. And when I first started, I couldn't get no guests, bro, like none. And then like, my fiance gave me some like ideas, and I did it my own way. And then now I'm at 200 plus.
That's amazing, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. So I like having guests on the show, and I tend to have some of the same people on. Like there's another past radio guy from the Sacramento area. His name's Arnie States. He comes on with me a couple times a month, and it's always awesome. But I've also interviewed, I've interviewed like some random people, but I would definitely like to get more interviews. It's just real difficult with my schedule to kind of line things up, and the way I wanted to do my interviews I wanted to do them live, and to use the same platform that I do. I use StreamYard as well, and they have a version where if you pay for it, you can stream to multiple platforms and do a whole live show, and it's really, really great. I mean, the features on this program are amazing. They're not paying me to say that. It's a really good program. So I wanted to do my interviews live, and it's really hard to line people up at that exact time. So it's like 5:00 on a Friday when I stream live. If you can make it, great. If not, I'm just going to talk shit. But it's good. Good for you, man. Keep doing that stuff. And is everybody that you interview, is it all radio people?
No, what I do is like, I try to interview like everybody in every industry. So like music,
Good.
TV, author, anything, honestly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Keep doing that stuff. People, people love that stuff, and they really do. And people want to learn about other people's industries. I get intrigued with some of the people that I've talked. I talked to some lady who was in Reno, and she's a sex worker, and like a legit, like, I don't know, she called herself a courtesan or something. I don't know what the hell that even is, but either way, it was really fascinating to learn about her industry and how serious they take it. I'm like, you're a hooker. Like, what do you, how serious can you take it? But whatever.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
Fun though.
And yeah, so like, and once I kept going, I learned like there's like a big business aspect behind the podcasting.
Dude, there really is, and I didn't know that. And like, I've learned about the business side of the podcasting just in this past year, and I'm still trying to build it, And there's the thing about some podcasters is there's a million podcasters that will tell you how to create a podcast, and then they all want to sell you a book, or they all want to sell you some sort of e-class or something like that. I don't know what it is, but there's a million of them out there that will do that, and they're all trying to teach you about the business side of podcasting, but they want you to pay them for that information. Really, just get a microphone, get a computer, and speak your thoughts, and then go from there. If you want to start making money, you can make money, put it up on Spotify. They'll put commercials in, and you can make a little money that way. You can start having subscribers. There is a huge business side to it, but don't pay one of these millions of podcasters that are out here trying to get people to, it's like snake oil salesmen. You know what I mean? Don't trust these people.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm not gonna say no names. He's actually a very, very big podcaster. I mean, which I get, but I wanted to do like a phone call for like 5 minutes because I know people are very busy, and I wanted to ask him some business questions and get some tips. And I'm willing to pay, but he asked, I think it was like he said 2,000 for a 5-minute phone call.
That's insane. That's crazy. Like,
it's crazy, right?
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, first of all, I'm not going to ever pay anybody to come on my podcast. You want to come on my podcast? I'm not going to make you pay me, and I'm not going to pay you. Let's create something that can be entertaining and interesting that people would want to listen to. And I think that most people who have a product that they want to sell would want to be a part of something like that. And if they're not, then they can go somewhere else. That's crazy. $2,000. No way. 5 minutes? Get that. I mean, if that's what people are charging, I'm doing it all wrong. I got stuff to say about everything. Pay me.
Right. And that was just a phone call. Like no FaceTime, no video, just a quick phone call.
Nah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I was like, I gotta pass.
Yeah, for sure. No way.
And yeah. Have you been getting like these random DMs like from like young kids, like random people asking like, do you need your podcast promoted?
Dude, it's ridiculous. And so I'll tell you what, this actually just happened, and I took the bait just to see what would happen. So I get them all the time, like, hey, we'll promote it, we'll make these little clips for you, we'll do this, all the same stuff that I already do. And I'll tell you what, taking that off my plate sounds amazing, but first of all, I don't have the funds to pay somebody to do that for me. And on top of it, I don't trust anybody. If there is an actual person, they're not using AI. I don't trust anybody to do the creative that I would do. They don't know who I am. They don't really know my thoughts. Right. So if you don't know me, there's no way it's going to work. But I did have somebody reach out to me, and they offered to create one free clip. I was like, all right, let's see what you come up with. You can make one free clip. I want to see what you come up with. And they went and they gave me a clip that was terrible. It was like, it was kind of out of context. It didn't make much sense. The captions that were on it they didn't even look good. It just felt like they must have used some sort of AI program, slapped something together, and they were going to try to sell it to me. These are all things that you could do on your own. And yeah, it's time consuming, but if you're, look, I mean, I work, I do this, I'm creating a business, Muscatello Media, the Mikey podcast. I have a wife, I have kids. It's a lot of work. And But if you're serious and you want it to succeed, it's gonna happen. And then you can hire people to do those things that work with you, that understand you and understand your business and what you want, and take some of those things off your plate. But I'm not gonna some random DM from somebody from probably from India. Not that there's anything wrong with people from India, but that means that they don't
Yeah,
really know anything about me, that are
right,
wanting to just charge me money to do something that I already do, and they do it on a subpar level. I'm good, man. These people are scam artists, all of them.
right. It's crazy. And
Mhm.
I recently tried like one of these new AI apps,
Yeah.
and
Which one?
I'm not sure. Later
Okay.
on, when I find it, I'll send a screenshot of it.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
And it's like you upload your YouTube link,
Mhm.
and bro, it generates like 20 different professional segments.
Ho was good? It was good?
Yeah, it was good.
So, I will tell you, I think I just used so if you look at my social media, it's I am Mikey or the Mikey podcast on Instagram for anybody that wants to check it out. Um, I posted the 2 that I posted this week are made by this thing called Opus, and I'm not making any money off them. I saw it online or something, and it was like AI clip content generator, and I was like, "Let me try this out because this will save some time. If it's good, maybe I can try to scrape the funds together." I put it in there. It was probably the same thing you're talking about, and it was great. Like, they came up with good stuff. It saved me a ton of time, and I was able to cut out a couple of things, put my intro and outro on the end, and bam, slap it online, and it was good to go.
I'm gonna check right now, real quick.
Yeah,
I think we're talking about the same one.
it might be, I think it's called Opus, but there's another one called Munch too, which doesn't do as good of a job.
Opus Clip.
That's the one.
Yep,
It's fantastic.
it's fire, right?
Yeah, they do a really good job. So whatever their algorithm is or their stuff, like they're killing it right now.
Right.
I use StreamYard. My main things that I use are StreamYard, obviously for the show. I'm gonna probably work Opus into my entire thing because that will remove me because I was paying $10 a month for captions for the captions app, which kind of does the same thing and it adds captions stuff and it's really great, but Opus does it as well. And it's only $20 a month. And so I use StreamYard, it'll be Opus, StreamYard, and Canva. That's pretty much my main things. And then if I'm doing any sort of editing and I'll do it on the go, I'll use Premiere Rush, which is
Premier
just a
Rush.
free app.
Okay. I gotta check that one out. I haven't heard that one.
It's a great mobile app for editing. You can iPad, iPhone, whatever. But you can do a lot of your editing right here in StreamYard too, which is awesome.
Right. Yeah. And I call that podcast bills, like with the StreamYard,
Yes.
the Canva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are podcast
I use
bills
the
for
same
sure.
ones.
Nice, good. Canva's fantastic too. So I don't know if any content creators are out there like that was giving away all our secrets, but the Canva's
Right.
fantastic. It it's again like I don't have the money to pay for a designer, a graphic designer, and I do pay the monthly fee for Canva so that I can get all the pro stuff. But man, it's such an amazing app, and my wife helps me with it too. It's just unreal what you can be done on that app, and I appreciate that so much as just a, freelance content creator. It's amazing.
Yeah. Super fire, and it has like specific templates, like if you're doing an interview or if
Yep.
you need like a promotion flyer, whatever you need.
It's, yeah, I'll just type in random stuff too. I'll just be like, something stupid like Donald Trump sucks and see what it comes up with. I'm like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious." Like, you know what I mean? Just anything like this. It could be what Biden's an idiot, whatever. Okay, wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Right. Yeah. Super fire. So
Yeah.
you got your podcast going, putting out that content. You're grinding. Said you got wife, kids. How do you balance to stay consistent? Personal time. You work too.
Yeah.
So I salute you, bro.
Thank
It's
you.
hard as hell.
It's
A,
the
a lot of
balance.
people don't know like how much work it takes.
You know what, dude? You're right. People don't know and people don't think about it. Like, yeah, you're right. I have wife, I have kids, they go to school, I have a job that has to fund me because this isn't doing it yet. And I'm trying to build a business at the same exact time. And people don't realize that. It's really difficult. It's a lot of early mornings. I mean, I'm up some days 4 o'clock in the morning, but I'm never up past 5. I'm up every day at 5 o'clock. Go to bed probably about 10, 11, depends on the day. um and it's those moments where it's like if the kids want to go, let's say it's the weekend, the kids like, oh, can we play a video game when we get on the iPad or whatever? I'm like, yeah, you can do that. So I'll take that hour or whatever it is and try to come up with some content and start writing. It's fitting in these little moments where other people want to have free time too. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this while they're doing that, because I never want to be so distracted by my job or my podcast or anything that I'm taken away from my family. So that's really the hardest thing. Like, I want to be there for my wife. I want to be there for the kids. And I want to be there for myself, which is this that I'm building, this job, this career, this media company. That's me. That's what, when I say I want to be there for myself, that's me. And then, I'll work out. I try to meditate as much as possible too, but all these things, trying to fit that time in is really, really difficult. But family is priority for me. I've I've been in radio for a long time. I've moved all over the country. I've left when I was a kid. I had kids at a really young age, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I moved to California basically, and left my boys who were with their mothers there, and I moved here, and it was the hardest decision of my life, and I would never make that decision again, and I would never put that on anybody. And so for me, because of that, and I learned from that, and I learned that family's now the number one thing. And it always should have been, but it took me a while to figure that out. And I have a daughter now. She's 11 years old. I have a stepson who's 13, and my wife, like I said, and they come before anything. But the cool thing is too, is they understand. Like, they get what I'm doing. They understand that, dad's gotta do a little bit of work. Dad's got to get this done. And they understand that I get up hecka early. They know I have a little on-air sign that I put downstairs when I'm recording, so they know it's come down, kind of be kind of quiet. They're cool with that. So they work with me on that. But the it's the balance, as you asked. I can't tell you how I do it. I don't know. It's really, really hard. And it's like, get it, like, is it early mornings, late nights, and fitting in whatever you can in between. It's a lot of work. And it's exhausting at times. It really is.
Right. I say us podcasters, we're not like human. We come from like different places. I don't know.
You're right. I feel the exact same way. And some people will never get it. Some people will never understand it. And some people will never understand podcasting, which is weird to me, because people will turn the radio on and listen to a talk show for 30 minutes, but they won't go to a podcast and do the exact same thing that's delivering them the content that they actually want. So do you think right now, you and I and other podcasters who are doing this and taking this seriously, we're at a really weird point where we got to cut through all the other bullshit podcasters out there, because there's a lot, and get our message out there and say, hey, this is the same thing as radio, only it's a little better. It's a little bit more niche. It's a little bit more for you. It's a little bit more freeing, and it's not directed by a corporate anybody. There's not some dude in an office saying you can't say that, you can't do that. There's not somebody feeding me content from New York where I go, you got to talk about this. We're giving away this prize to Florida. I'm fucking in California. Nobody wants to go to Florida? Get the hell out of here. Well, I mean, I like Florida, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's us getting to that point to get people to understand that this medium and the content that's being created out of it is really, really good. It's just hard to find it.
Right. And like the understanding,
Yeah.
how your family understands you, that
Yeah.
helps out too.
It does, dude. It does, because if my wife or the kids were like, why are you doing that? This is a waste of time. Who cares? Well, you go try to be back on the radio. Go do this. Like, it would make things really, really, really hard. But they
Right.
support it, and I appreciate them so much because of it.
Yeah, like my fiance, she understands. And like you said, the early mornings, the late nights,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta focus and get stuff done.
Yep.
That really helps out.
It's also, I know that it's probably drives my wife crazy sometimes, or even the kids. We're like, I'll get an idea when we're out doing something, and I'm like, hold on, I gotta write this down before I forget. And I'll send myself a text, or I'll take a note on the iPhone or whatever, or take a picture or something weird that I saw that can become content, and or we're at the grocery store, like, why are you recording in the grocery store? Like, trust me, it's gonna be this amazing video. You guys are gonna love it. But so I know that I can be a little obnoxious at times when it comes to that stuff, but they deal with it.
Right. And it's like we do that because some people don't understand, like, we do that because like we're the content creator, we're everything basically. Like
Yeah.
how these other companies, somebody provides it,
Yeah.
we have to provide it.
Yep. We're the creator, we're the host, we're the freaking writers, we're the producers, we're the editors. The people don't get that. And they see what we put out, And they're like, oh, that was so cool. But they didn't think about everything that went into that episode or that little video that you just made or that stupid meme or whatever it is. People don't think about that, the thought process that goes into it, and then the design to it. It's a lot. But man, even though I'm not getting paid for it, I love it. I just love it. I love it so much more than I loved radio. And radio has been my entire life, dude. I was born to be on the radio. I was 7 years old pretending to be a radio DJ in my mom's basement when I was a kid. Like, this is all I've ever known. This is all I've ever done, and this is all I'll ever do.
Respect, bro. And once again, I salute you because I had interviewed this radio personality a while back, and he got laid off because he didn't get like the full time position he wanted.
Yeah.
So then it's like he just like completely gave up. And like when I went to school, I got real cool with this guy. He was a good guy. And he actually got 2 radio jobs. You know, at first they don't pay you what you want. You gotta work your
No,
way up. But
takes a long time.
yeah, he quit. He gave up. You know, you kept going. You're doing your own podcast. You're doing like the same thing I'm doing. So I understand the work.
Yeah, you get it, man. In radio, dude, radio could be very lucrative, and it was for me for a while. Like, I mean, the just up until I really lost my job, like things were really, really good, you know. And I had endorsements. I had a bunch of clients that I was doing voiceover work for, and I still have a couple of imaging clients that I still do work for, which is great. Um, so things were, you know, like I said, we were number one, so we had bonus checks coming in. Things were fantastic for that amount of time. But when that pandemic hit, it slowly but surely started to dwindle, you know, piece by piece by piece. The show, the radio station I was on, and then even the company at the time, which was Entercom, when they turned into Odyssey. They are what they are, whatever. I'm not going to talk crap about them. I've talked enough about them on my own podcast. But you know, over that period of time, things just started to fall apart. And I even and then I started to lose money slowly but surely. It was the worst when the pandemic first hit, though, because then it was like everybody shut down. Like, all these radio companies shut down, and they're like, we're not going to be able to pay our voice talent. So that dude, right off the bat, within the first 4 months of the pandemic, I lost like 6 voiceover clients, and that was a huge chunk of money. And I had to figure out how I was going to replace that, and I still kind of really haven't. So it was definitely tough. But my point was that radio can be lucrative if you work at it. It really can be. People say radio people are broke? That's bullshit. I live in a really
Mhm.
nice house in a really nice area in California. I got very, very lucky, but I worked my ass off for it.
Yeah. And my cousin, he's a big DJ out here. He works for 93.7.
Oh, all right, hell yeah.
And yeah, so and like to actually like when we was kids, you know, 5, I'm 5, he's a couple years older than me. Probably like, you know, I'm 5, he's like 8. You know, we're sleeping in the same room. We're family, like we're
Yeah.
together. And now that we're older, to watch him be where he's at now is like basically showing me like it's possible.
It is possible. I think it is
Yeah.
possible for anybody. And I think in if I hate when people give up. I hate to bring up my co-host from that damn show, and I miss him to death, man. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard from him in months. And I feel like, in at least it seems that way, and from what it's almost like he gave up. He gave up on radio, he gave up on the industry, and I hate that because he was so talented. He had so much, he had so much to offer in the comedy side of things. It's just a weird perspective on things for people, and just what we radio people and podcasters do. And he could have been so good at it. So I hate seeing people give up. And yeah, I know it's a lot of work and it's really, really hard, but if you're really passionate and you love what you do, it's worth it.
Yeah, you gotta never give up.
You can't give up no matter what. It does just don't give up no matter what it is you're doing. God, I sound like a fucking motivational speaker. Don't give up. Keep on going. Push, push, push. But it's true. It's as stupid as it is. It's really, really true. And the positive thinking and all that, just staying focused stuff matters, and it works.
Right. And like one thing I learned is like never get stuck on that one big project.
Mm.
Just get ahead of it. Have like 4 or 5 big projects again. Keep it going.
Yeah, that's definitely that's great advice too. You know what I mean. Just have things in the works, have things lined up so that you're on the next thing, or you're working on a couple of things at the same time. The multiple streams of income, best way to put it, no matter what it is. It's podcast, and then it's, social media content, and then it's some weird faceless YouTube channel that nobody even knows that it's you. Whatever it is, there's so many different ways that you can make money, multiple streams of income in this sort of field of what we're doing, content creation. As many streams of income as you can is the best way to go.
Right.
Not giving up doing it, because it's a lot of work.
Right. I think like me, I'm trying to get like, because I got paid a couple times for an interview.
Nice.
Like I didn't even ask. The guy was like, I know what it takes to run a show. Because I interviewed this artist, and she came out with an album, and I was like, I'll do it for free, obviously,
Yeah.
and sent me a couple hundred.
That's amazing. So that's the other thing. Like, when I said that I would never make somebody pay to be on my podcast, that's not necessarily true. So like, there's an advertising side to this business. And,
right.
And so like I will interview pretty much anybody if they want to be interviewed. But if you're wanting me to interview you to reach, the 10,000, 15,000 people that you could reach in a month or whatever it is through my media company, I'm going to make you pay for it, probably, because we'd come up with a plan. So it'd be like, yeah, let me get you on the show. We'll talk some shit. We'll talk about life and things like that. It won't even be like a promotional interview. It would be like a regular, normal interview where we're just talking and having a good time. But, I can put you in the newsletter, and I'll post something on social media about it as well. I get you on 2 sites, put you up on my Facebook page. We'll make a couple of clips. We'll post them and share them as well. All that stuff is marketing for them, marketing for me. And it's going to reach, whatever your reach is, 50,000, 100,000, whatever it is, there's value there. So yeah, you should definitely be charging when it comes to that. And I think that, even though you didn't charge and that guy paid you, he saw the value in what you offered. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That right there, I was like, okay, this is definitely for me.
Yeah.
I got to become out of one of the best podcasters ever.
Yeah.
Got to.
That's what dude, you say that and you are that podcaster right now. You're that guy. Live that life right now, that you are that person, and all those pieces start to fall into place. As long as you know already that you're that exactly what you want to be, live like that, think like that, and create like that, and it's going to happen.
Right. Not to go off, but have you ever been to any of those Podfest expos or like any Podfest?
Not yet. And I saw, what was the one that just happened? Was it Podcast Movement? It was in Denver, I think. And I haven't been to any, but I'm going to. And I think I'm planning on going to the very next one, which is next spring for Podcast Movement. I think that's the biggest one. I'm not sure. But I do want to go. I think it's important to network and get to know other people, and shit I never believed in radio. Like, I hate networking. I'm terrible at it. But I went to a couple of those morning show boot camps. They were fun, but it was mostly just us drinking and being stupid. But I understand the importance of networking and getting to know people, and these podcast events like you're talking about. I think they need to happen, and I need to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Have you gone any?
Nah, but I see us. We'll be like one of the top ranks.
For sure. Yeah. We'll be up on stage speaking. We'll be the ones talking, telling people how to get it done.
Right. Gotta happen.
Absolutely.
Right. So this is a fire podcast, bro.
Thanks, man. I enjoy talking. This is fun.
Yeah, bro. So you're a marketing beast, stay on go. You do everything by yourself, right? Correct?
Yeah. I mean, once in a while I'll have my wife help me with the design of something like a t-shirt or whatever it is. But everything it's all me.
Okay. Woman being like me. Same thing.
Yeah, it's how it's got to be. And I mean, for now, hopefully, I will get to the point where I'll have, like I've said, I've had somebody come in and help with some of the social media and possibly content creation stuff. And maybe a co-host at some point. I think that'd be really cool on the podcast. I'd like to have a co-host, and I'll get there. But right now, it's all just me.
Right, same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe we can come up with a idea. We do like one episode once a month.
I'll be down for that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We can come up with something specific. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. Hey, man, I think content creators got to support each other. So I'm big on that. I'm really big on cross promotion. I'm big on being on other people's podcasts and having other people on my podcast and other content creators. I think I've had, I think her name is Jessica Conrad. She's pretty cool. I've had her on my show. And she promoted me when it's got me a bunch of listeners, and that was really cool too. So yeah, that's how you grow too, man. It comes down to that networking thing. You go to those events, you start meeting other people like, hey, let me get you on my show. Let's talk. And you come on my show, and it's awesome.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, why not, man? I think it'd be fun.
Right. So after we're done, I'll DM you. We can finish talking about it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Okay, perfect. So before we wrap it up, what's some new things that you got with your podcast? Any merch? I know you got some new episodes.
Well, like I said, I do 3 episodes a week. Next episode will come out tomorrow for the people who subscribe and get the video. And then so the way it works is if you're a subscriber to the Mikey Sub Club, you get video and you get early access to the podcast. And then the freeloaders, the ones that don't pay, they get it the very next day. So they get it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but everybody gets access to the stream on Friday. That's my freeloader Friday. Do a live show, whatever it is. Coming up, though, I can say that right now I'm giving away tickets to this huge rock festival in Sacramento. It's called Aftershock. There's like 80 bands, Guns N' Roses, Tool, Limp Bizkit, friggin' Korn. Like, it's insane. Avenged Sevenfold. So you can win tickets to that right now if you go over to the Mikey Podcast on Instagram, or I Am Mikey on Instagram. I'm really looking forward to that because I'm going to be at this show too. So I'm hoping to line up a ton of interviews and get a bunch of great content. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Something I've been doing for years anyway. This will be the first time though, where I'm doing it as independent media, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm working on, dude, so funny you ask, because the other thing I'm working on right now, and I just sent out a few messages today to some people, is I want to put together a charity show, which is going to hopefully happen in December. For people who are in California, Sacramento, California, be on the lookout for that. I got to try to get this certain local, pretty big band lined up. And my goal is to get this thing to be free for everybody to come in. If you show up with a toy, you come in, and these toys don't go to Toys for Tots or the Red Cross. They go to a local charity right here in the Sacramento area that will give them to kids right here in our area. To me, that's so important. And I supporting your local area and supporting local businesses and being there for your community is the most important thing for any one of us. So that's what I got going on right now. I appreciate you asking me, because it gives me an opportunity to promote it and talk about that.
Absolutely, bro. And I promote my podcast episodes like crazy. I'm
good.
Sure you know about that.
Yeah, I do. I see them. That's awesome. You should keep doing that.
Definitely. And one more question before we go. I like to ask my guests a motivational question.
Yeah.
So what's some advice you could do that you could give, to avoid like insults, little sarcastic remarks, and distractions, and just to stay focused?
To avoid them, the best thing you can do, and I touched on this for a second, and I know this is going to sound a little weird, and this is not for everybody, but if you can take 10 minutes a day and completely turn off and sit down, cross your legs, lay down, sit in a chair, whatever you got to do, and just be in that moment and be as present as you can right there. Focus on breathing. Count. One thing, this is something that I learned, is if you're take some deep breaths, is in, out, in, out, in, out. Take like 4 or 5 really deep breaths, get really, 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 really relaxed, and then start counting your breaths just up till 10, and then start over again, then up to 10 again, and then start over. And if your mind wanders, start back over at 1. Keep doing this, do this for months, do this for weeks. Over time, your brain will shut off. And I know it sounds crazy. You don't necessarily want that, but you do. You want to shut your brain off for 10 minutes, because that 10 minutes makes you're in that 10 minutes, you're the most present, you're most connected to yourself. And by doing that more and more and more, you will start to be able to ignore the negative thoughts and the negative voices and the insults and whatever it is. You just start to realize that shit doesn't matter. That's not real. What's real is what's happening right here, right now. So being the most present you can be over time will help you avoid those situations. And if you talk about like comments on your social media or whatever, don't go to the comment section. That's like, sometimes I find myself getting trapped in my comment section. I'm like, I'm arguing with people, or I'll go on comment on some news article where somebody is so stupid. I'm like, you're the dumbest person on the internet right now. You need to unplug. Don't do that. It just feeds the negativity.
Right. Just Don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it though, man. Yeah, try to stay present. I think that's some advice that I've gotten a long time ago is try to stay present. And it's the best you can possibly be in any moment. Present in an interview, present when you're with your family, present when you're with your fiance. Be present.
Right. Super dope, man. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Hey, no
Fire
problem, man.
episode.
Yeah, this is great.
Definitely. So I'm gonna keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Please do.
Absolutely will.
All right,
And
man.
we got that special episode monthly coming soon.
Yeah, we'll create something. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
All right, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, bro. Have a good day.
See ya.
Peace.